Hi, dear viewers and listeners. I hope you are all well. Dear listeners, my journey has now taken me far from the lands of Brazil, deep into the heart of South Africa. A land of fierce beauty, where vast savannas stretch beneath an endless sky, and mighty rivers carve their paths through ancient lands. Here, the air is thick with history, and the earth hums with the power of untold stories. Tonight, under the gaze of the Southern Cross, I bring you a tale of fear, anger, and the consequences of unchecked vengeance. It is a tale from the heart of Africa, a story of a powerful force that once ruled a kingdom, but ultimately destroyed it. This is the tale of the wrath of the storm god. Before I start, please subscribe to my channel and activate the bell button to be notified of my next stories. The Wrath of Storm God. Long ago, in a kingdom nestled between the Drakensberg Mountains and the lush green valleys of South Africa, there was a tribe known as the Thandosi. Their land was rich with rivers, forests, and wildlife, and their people lived in peace under the protection of their god, Kolalika, the storm god. Kolalika was both revered and feared. His power was said to control the winds, the rains, and the thunder that rolled across the skies. He was a god of both creation and destruction, whose moods could shift like the winds themselves. Among the Thandosi was a young warrior named Sibusiso, a man of great strength and fiery spirit. He was known for his courage, but also for his quick temper. His heart burned with a fierce desire for honor, but his anger often led him astray. As a child, he had witnessed the murder of his father by a rival tribe, and this loss had shaped his entire life. The rage he carried was a constant companion, one that fanned the flames of his ambition and his thirst for vengeance. One fateful day, a great drought fell upon the kingdom of the Thandosi. The rain ceased, and the crops withered. The rivers, once full and flowing, turned to dusty beds, and the people began to suffer. The Thandosi knew that only Kolalika could bring the rains, but the god, it seemed, had turned his gaze away from them. In desperation, the elders of the tribe called upon the people to gather at the sacred mountain where the storm god's temple stood. It was here that Kolalika's favor was said to be strongest, and it was here that the people would offer their prayers and sacrifices to appease him. Sibusiso, too, went to the mountain, but his heart was filled not with prayer, but with a dark desire for revenge. He believed that the drought was a punishment for his father's death, a judgment cast by Kolalika himself. But instead of seeking to appease the god, Sibusiso sought to challenge him. If Kolalika has the power to punish, Sibusiso thought, then he must also have the power to be defeated. If I can conquer him, I will have the strength to avenge my father's death and bring peace to my heart. At the peak of the sacred mountain, Sibusiso stood alone before the great altar of Kolalika, his heart pounding with anger. He raised his arms to the sky, calling out to the storm god. "Kolalika," he shouted. "Show yourself. I, Sibusiso, son of a fallen warrior, challenge you to battle." The winds began to stir. The clouds gathered, and the air grew thick with the scent of rain. From the heart of the storm, a figure appeared, a being of shimmering light and crackling energy, towering above Sibusiso like a titan. It was Kolalika, in all his terrifying glory. "Foolish mortal," the storm god boomed, his voice like the rumble of thunder. You dare challenge me? You who cannot even control the anger within your own heart. But Sibusiso was undeterred. I seek not your mercy, storm god, he cried, but your power. Grant me the strength to avenge my father's death, and I will serve you forever. Kulalika's eyes glowed like twin lightning bolts. You ask for power, but what you seek is destruction. You are driven by fear and anger, and these are the very forces that will destroy you. Sibusiso, blinded by rage, raised his spear and charged at the god. With a mighty roar, the storm god summoned the full force of the heavens. Lightning crackled from his fingers, and the earth trembled beneath Sibusiso's feet. The winds howled, and the rain began to pour in torrents. Despite the overwhelming power of Kulalika, Sibusiso fought valiantly, his anger giving him strength. But with each strike he made, the god's power grew, and Sibusiso began to feel the weight of his own rage. His heart, filled with anger, began to twist within him, draining his strength and his will. The storm raged for hours, and at last, Sibusiso fell to his knees, exhausted and broken. Kulalika, his voice now soft and sorrowful, looked down at the young warrior. You sought power, the storm god said, but power without wisdom only brings destruction. Your anger has led you to ruin, and now you will be swept away by the very storm you sought to control. With those words, the storm grew fiercer, and Sibusiso's body was carried away, lost to the winds and the rains. The drought that had plagued the land lifted, and the rivers began to flow once more, but the Thandosi tribe had lost one of their greatest warriors, and so, dear listeners, the tale of Sibusiso and the storm god teaches us a powerful lesson. Anger and fear, though powerful, are destructive forces. They cloud our judgment and lead us to make choices that we will later regret. Seeking power without wisdom can cause us to lose not only what we value most but also ourselves. True strength lies not in conquering others or even conquering our fears, but in understanding them and learning to master our emotions. The storm that destroyed Sibusiso's life was the very storm he had called upon, and in his quest for vengeance, he was consumed by it. Don't forget to like. What do you think? What do you think fear is? Share your thoughts in the comments. Be in the shelter of wisdom.